We'll start today by downloading the Drawing Tools SKP file. Just double click on that and it will download in the lower left hand corner. Now we're going to open up SketchUp in another tab. I'm on the home page for SketchUp for Web. I'm going to hit Open and My Computer. And then in the Downloads, we have Drawing Tools. Go ahead and open that up. Lagging a little bit. Okay, I'm going to close this dialog box down at the bottom. Okay, and if this Scenes window didn't pop up, you can click this on the right. It's like a little movie clacker there. Click that, it pops out, and then we get all of the different scenes. Okay, next thing we're going to do is we're going to save this. We're going to go Save As in SketchUp, and we're going to go Drawing Tools. This. And just save it there. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to click the second scene here. It's going to snap us to this circles and polygons kind of field here. We're going to open up the Polygons tool. We're going to notice, we're going to do some explorations on these. We're going to notice that the Polygon tool actually always defaults to a six-sided figure, a hexagon. I'm going to plant the center on this and kind of gesture out on the red axis. Remember that we can toggle from an inscribed polygon to a circumscribed polygon just by hitting the control button. We're going to go out like that. We're going to hit 1 foot in the dialog box on the lower right hand corner. I can just start typing. I don't have to gesture down there. I'm going to hit Enter. It gives me a 1 foot radius hexagon. Actually, at this point, we can change the number of sides that the shape has by just typing. Again, I don't have to go down. I don't have to go down and actually click down here. I can just start typing, and I can hit 8 and S and hit Enter, and it will change the amount of sides on that shape. Now I have an octagon. I'm going to draw another one, kind of close to that one. So we're going to kind of reference out like this. Pull in that red direction again. Go 1 foot again, Enter. That gives me an octagon. Let's say I want to go back to the hexagon shape. I can just type 6S and hit Enter. Whoops. Just kidding. Never mind. I'm going to drag out here and do it again. Pull out. We wound up with a six-sided hexagon again because that defaults to it. I don't think I clicked to plant it. So we're going to go 1 foot, hit Enter. Then it plants the shape. Sorry about that. If I wanted to change it to a 10-sided shape, I type 10S, hit Enter, and that gives me a decagon. If I want to go back to a hexagon, I go 6S and hit Enter. I'll leave that there. The next one I'm going to do is a circle. Circles are actually also built on the same kind of polygon tool. And you're going to see that as you get bigger, you can start to see the amount of sides. You can start to see that there are actually 24 sides in a circle. That's the default. So if I had 1 foot 6-inch circle and I hit Enter, I can actually change the amount of sides on the circle as well. So I can go to a 12-sided circle, 12S, and hit Enter. I could go 8S, 8S, and hit Enter. And you can see that it's changing the amount of sides on a circle the same, it works the same as the polygon tool. 24 is the default. If you wanted a real smooth circle, you could even go higher with that. We could go 48 instead and hit enter, 48S and hit enter. You get a nice smooth circle. It's just because the amount, as you increase the number of sides on a circle, it's going to get smoother on the edge. So let's say we do a circle that has, we're actually going to get rid of this shape. I'm going to draw 3 circles down here. One with 24, one with, plant that one and hit 12 sides. You can see it gives me those edges on the sides. And let's do another one with, plant that one and go 36 sides. Even smoother than both of those. Different ways you can alter the circles. So what's the difference between these two things? What does it matter? So you can go to the right. We're going to go back to the polygon tool. We're going to go build kind of a larger shape. Let's go 2 feet and 2 foot radius and hit enter. And we'll go 8 sides. So hit enter again. We get an octagon. I'm going to go to the circle tool and kind of over here, drag out, we have a 2 foot radius, and I'm going to do 8 sides on that one as well. You can see that these two shapes actually almost look identical until we pull them up. If I go to the push-pull tool and I pull this geometry up, you see that we get flat planes on the sides. If I pull this one up, you see that we get smooth planes. So the circle doesn't give you flat planes on the sides, even though it does have flat planes on the top edge. Just a small difference between these two. Looking into circles and polygons a little further, there is also a difference between the move tool and how the move tool adjusts with these particular shapes. So let's take this guy right here. We're going to go to the move tool, and you can see that as we adjust on the edge, when I click on the edge, the entire thing is highlighted. And I can click on that and move the entire thing. Okay. There is a point though that you just kind of have to search for it. You see that right there? When I highlighted that one point, you see how the edge is no longer highlighted. That we can change the actual shape. You can drag in and out and change the actual diameter and radius of the shape. So if you're on the side and the whole thing is highlighted, you can move the whole shape. If you find that point, it's kind of that magic point, the end point, you can click on that one and drag in and out and dilate the shape. At this point, we're going to put our signature in here. I'm not going to film this whole sketch section, so if you guys should know how to do it by now. That magically appears there. We're going to kind of draw out from the shape, and this will be your first screenshot. Be sure and grab your signature at this point, highlight it, right click, and we're going to hit copy. This will allow you to continue to paste this into each of the next snips without going through that whole inserting phase. It's very fast. Okay, the next one's going to be the arc tool. Okay. We're going to practice with the arc tools again. The arc tools are usually 3 clicks. So if we go in here and select the regular arc tool, the regular arc tool begins at the midpoint or the center of the circle. 1 click, 2 clicks on the edge, and then a gesture to finish it. 3 clicks. 1, 2, 3. Same thing here. It starts at the center, goes up an edge, and then gestures around to complete the arc. That one created, closed a loop, so it created a surface there. The next tool we're going to look at is the pie tool. Pie tool, I believe, is this one. The pie tool, we can click 1, out, 2, and then gesture around 3, and it will actually create these little wedges of pie. If we wanted an exact wedge, we could start here and go 1, 2, and as we kind of gesture down, you can input, let's say, 45 degrees and hit enter, and we'll give you exactly a 45-degree slice. Same thing if we wanted a smaller one. 1, out, 2, and then gesture in the direction, let's say we wanted it 30 degrees, and hit enter. Okay, we're going to go from there to the 2-point arc. 2-point arc. 2-point arc starts on the edges. So we go 1, 2, doing a diameter, and then we kind of draw in to create a bulge. Now, you can create like a big bulge like this or a small one, but it actually will snap to exactly a half circle, which is kind of nice. So I can create one there, end point on the edge, end point on the edge, and again, if we get on the right surface, and then it says half circle, and we know it's exactly half a circle. The next arc tool we're going to use is the 3-point arc, where we go first point, a point that we want the arc to pass through, and then a point of termination someplace else. This one can be useful if you want to make sure that it passes through a spot before finishing. I'm going to go back to the 2-point arc, and we're going to look at some things that the 2-point arc allow us to do. So let's say that we were starting on this edge over here, somewhere like that, and then we're going to kind of drag out. You can see this kind of cyan blue line, and this means that it will actually be tangent to the line that we started on, meaning that it goes it flows into that nicely. There's not like a harsh break. We can click and end that there, and then just wait until we get that cyan line again. We can do it again starting here, and then we want to finish the edge here, and then grab that cyan line again. So we get this super smooth line that would smooth here, smooth to here, and then smooth into there. Another thing with the 2-point arc tool is we can get lines that are tangent to 2 sides on a corner. So we go on the edge, around like this, and we'll get this magenta color. You can see that magenta right there. Oops, wait. Sometimes it can be a little fussy. There we go. The magenta means that it's going to be tangent on 2 sides. And then we select that in the center. Now, being tangent on 2 sides, you can click on another surface over here and double click there, and it will repeat that same cut. And it'll actually slice off the outside edge. I can go in here, double click. I can go over here. It should work again. Oops. Click over here, it'll slice it out again, double click here. I don't think I'm clicking fast enough here, but I can double click here and it'll slice off the same edge. So repeating that same cut over and over again. That's it for these tools. I'm going to go back to my selection tool by clicking spacebar, right click, paste my signature, right about there, my snip, and then on to the next. The rectangle tool we've gotten pretty used to. I'm going to draw a quick rectangle here. I can tap the, okay. Rectangle tool will start on a corner out like that, unless you can actually hit Control and start from the center. So it's going to be click, drag, click. Almost all of these tools are always click, drag, click. I'm going to get rid of that rectangle. I'm going to draw a rectangle in the vertical direction here. In order to do this, I want to kind of orbit so that I can see into the sky out here. It makes it a lot easier to draw up. Yikes. I was having problems with it snapping to the wrong plane there. So that's not right. Okay, let's start there. Drag up and out and just kind of create a little edge right there. That's what I was going for. Okay, the next rectangle tool that we have not used yet is going to be this rotated rectangle. So rotated rectangles, what we want to do is click on the endpoints 1 and 2, and then we kind of drag out to the right. So I'm going to do 2 feet, and then I'm going to kind of pull up in this direction. So I'm going to go 2 feet, comma, and then I'm going to do the rotation angle. So let's put that at 45 degrees. So I do 45. You can see all of this down in the lower right corner. I hit enter and it will give me a 2 foot long rectangle that's rotated up 45 degrees. I can continue doing those kinds of rectangles. So we want to plant them along the edge here. So I go 1, 2, drag out in this direction and up. Okay, so I'm going to do it again, 2 feet, and then I'm going to go comma. And this time I'm going to hit 30 and hit enter. So this one gives me something that looks like that. Okay. Now I'm going to jump to this guy here, this kind of lattice work. And we're going to do 2 rotated rectangles off of this, almost like we would be putting solar panels on top of this. So I'm still in my rotated rectangle. I'm going to grab my rotated rectangle tool again, click on the end point, click on the other edge, drag out to the left and up a little bit. So kind of, it's like a gesture. I'm going to do 3 feet, comma, and then a 30-degree angle. And I hit enter. I'm going to go off the other direction, do the same thing, repeating that geometry. 1, 2, gesture out and pull up. It's very fussy. Okay, so I go, my hand is not on the mouse at all right now. I'm going to go 3 feet, comma, and 30 degrees, enter. Get it, same geometry in the opposite direction. Okay. I'm going to plant my signature down here. Okay, zoom out a little bit, take my next screenshot, and move on. Probably be a good idea to save about now. Hit save, just so you don't have to redo your work. Okay, I'm going to go back to my selection tool, go over to the freehand section. Most of the time when we're using the mouse, we're doing it in a click, move, click fashion, where we're not holding the mouse button down. The freehand tool is one of the exceptions. It's kind of this squiggly guy over here on the left. I'd just like you guys to practice drawing some freehand wiggles right there, connecting them to each edge. kind of like we're doing a terrain map here. You have to click to start, hold the mouse button down, and continue to drag. It'll take a little practice. We want to fill this up with some wiggles. So that's all you need to do here. I just want you to get practice with the tool. At this point, slap your signature on there. Take a screenshot. And we're going to move on. Next tool is going to be the offset tool. Click that one over here. We had some experience with this the very beginning of the semester, but this one, the offset tool is uses surfaces. So you're going to click on the surfaces. So the first thing, we have all this geometry on the surface of this wall here. Using the offset tool, the offset is inside the move tool menu here, and it's, oh, just kidding, the offset's in the push-pull tool. We're going to, you actually click on the surface. So by doing this, it's going to reference that red dot right there. So I click on the surface, I drag the particular offset that I want, and you can go inside or you can go outside the shape, and then you click again to finish it. The offset automatically will delete the geometry as it comes inside and starts to crash in on itself. So you can see as we're bringing in this kind of unusual shape, as I pull in, it's going to smash into itself. It actually deletes the overlapping geometry. If for some weird reason you didn't want it to do that, you could actually hit Control as you, maybe Alt actually. Yeah, Alt will let the geometry continue to overlap. I'm not really sure why you would want that, but if you do want that, you can turn it off. I'll click there to plant that. Over here on the right, you're going to continue, you're going to really want to use the offset tool with exact geometry. So the way we do that, scroll in. So let's say I want this surface to pull out on this edge here. Actually, what I would want to do is I want to select this edge first. So this guy, and I hit Shift and continue. If I hold Shift down, I can select multiple pieces there. Go back to the offset tool and click on this surface, and I can drag out. As I drag out, I can type 3 inches. You can see that in the lower right corner. It says distance 3 inches, and I hit Enter, and it will snap exactly there. Do the same thing. You want to select the inside window. We're going to go offset tool, offset to this edge here, and I'm going to pull in. So I didn't select the edges, but I wanted that particular surface to be offset. And let's say I want it, I don't have my hand on my mouse right now. Let's say I want that to be pulled in for 1 inch. So I go 1 inch and hit Enter. It will snap a 1 inch offset. Now what I can do is actually I can double click anywhere and it will repeat that same offset. So if I double click here, oops, wait, sorry. Undo that. I can go back to the offset. Okay, I go back inside here, select this edge, go back to the offset tool, double click inside here, and it will snap again. I can select in here, selection tool, double click, offset tool, oops. One more time. Select in here, drag out the offset we want. We wanted a 1-inch offset. Go to a new surface, double click, and it will remember the offset that we had before. I'm going to zip out, go up to here, which is not the same size window as that. I'm going to double click there. It gives me that 1-inch offset. Double click here, 1-inch offset again. So it makes you fast. Using these shortcuts can make you fast. So let's say that we want to do a 2-inch offset on the door. Okay, but we don't want the offset on the bottom, because if I click right now, let's say with the 1-inch offset still on the tool, and I double click, it will come in on all edges, but it's a door, so maybe we don't want the bottom one offset. So what we can do, undo that, using the selection tool, spacebar, we're going to select one edge here, on the shift button, select one edge here, and one edge here. Now I grab the offset tool, select the surface, pull in, and let's go 2 inches and hit enter. So it didn't pull up the bottom edge. Kind of nice. Okay. Enter signature. Take the snip. Move on to the eraser tool. Finally, the eraser tool. We have used this before. Most tools, again, are click, move, click. The eraser tool you can actually hold down. So let's erase this whole path in here. I can actually swipe through here and kind of cut out all of those. So as I hold it down, it's going to select a bunch of things. Select, and it lets go. The eraser tool does not work on surfaces. It works on lines. So you'll see it gets rid of the outer edges and then takes the inside with it. With the line tool works with the point of the pencil here. Point, 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 point. The push-pull tool works with the point of the red arrow. You can actually drag something up. The eraser tool, tap E for the computer shortcut, is going to work with a little loop in there. So we can work on erasing geometry. When I erase lines, it actually will fill in the rest, especially if they're not the same color. It'll fill one of the colors to all the pieces. So these are different ways to use the eraser tool. One of the very cool new things that we're going to learn how to do with the eraser tool, we have this kind of neat Gothic window here. You'll see it's very faint, but there's a black edge right here. So let's say that I don't want that black edge. You see it right there? So let's say I don't want that. So I'm going to try and erase the line. Well, you see it when you erase the line, it gets rid of the geometry. And that's not what we want. So I'm going to put those two things back with Control Z. If you want to get rid of just that black line, you can hold down Shift and then use your eraser. And it actually will, now do you see that there's no black line there? You can hold down Shift again and erase those sections of line, and you get this really nice looking Gothic window without that black outline. So it's a more pure shape. It looks really nice. Another way you can do it is you can do Control, hold down Control, and you can select that same line, and it will do a soften. Hold down Control again, erase, Control, erase, Control, erase. You can see you get two different looks there. If you forget these instructions, they're down here in this kind of comment box. One really cool thing, if I select this, you can see that these are still separate panels. When you do the softening, it creates like a solid, smooth geometry. So those are kind of some cool things you can do with the eraser tool that are like extensions on things we already know. Go ahead, drop your signature in the last spot right here. Take a snip of this, and you guys are done for the day. Thank you so much.